Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle news update. The USA Championships took place this past weekend, and we have a new men's bodybuilding overall champ and Mr. USA, Zach Merkel. Once again, you never know. There's always dark horses who come into these shows. Zach has got to be thrilled. He is the new Mr. USA, wins the super heavyweight and the overall title here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I got to tell you, it's exciting when we see new and young talent coming up in the bodybuilding world. People saying bodybuilding is dead and that classic is going to take over. I don't believe so. I think this USA Championships proves there was a lot of new names, a lot of new guys, young talent coming up in all the divisions, people that we've never heard of and that are going to become the stars of the future. I can guarantee that after looking at the pictures and examining what was going on. Zach, beat a very good Nick Walker. It was a very tight decision. I believe it was 1 point between the two of these guys when it was all said and done. Nick Walker, a lot of social media, publicity going into this show. One of the biggest guys on that stage, probably. He's massive. He's very imposing on stage. He brings tremendous conditioning. He has a lot of muscle mass on him. And for him to lose to Zach here, that's a feather in Zach Merkel's cap, because it just tells you how good he is. Usually, a lot of times momentum plays a huge part in who wins these USA and national championships, because these guys have momentum from either social media or doing well at previous shows. And it's almost like the judges are waiting for these guys to turn pro, and for them to show up and then lose, you say to yourself, well, how does that happen? Well, if you look at the pictures, and I analyze these pictures. Obviously, not being there, I'd rather be there. If I was there, I can give you guys a much, much better analysis. But looking at the pictures, you almost say, how does Nick Walker lose? He's freaky hard. He's got tons of muscle. He's big, structured. In the pictures, when I just looked at the pictures individually, Nick Walker versus Zach Merkel, I said, I don't know how Nick Walker lost this show. When I go to the comparisons and I look, I see the difference. I see the fact that Zach has just a better, bedside manner, you want to call it, better curbside appeal. When you see him in the lineup, he looks better, And because they're both well-conditioned and they both have a lot of muscle, you tend to, your eye goes to Zach, and you say, this guy's more appealing, He's got a more appealing look. And you really can't, Nick Walker really can't be that upset, because, Zach's in great shape too. So, size doesn't always win. If it did, I would have been the USA national champion multiple times over back in the day. Sometimes it comes down to aesthetics and how it flows on your body as well. Either one of those guys will make great pros, and if this was the Nationals, both of them would have gotten their pro card. So I say Nick Walker will probably go to the North American after this. I would think it's only in a couple weeks. He'd be crazy not to. He should easily be able to win that show. Or he might wait to the Nationals and want to win the national championships because it's a better title. But Zach Merkel here really, really impressed the hell out of me, I got to tell you. And hats off to him, not only for winning the super heavyweight class, but for winning that overall title. In that heavyweight class, Nate Epler also narrowly wins the class by 1 point over Mariano Grajeda. And this was a really tough battle. And once again, you look at these guys' pictures individually, and look at Nate Epler. He's really good structure-wise, shape-wise. He's in excellent condition. You say to yourself, hey, here's a guy who's got all the tools, to be a pro. He's balanced and everything like that. And then I went over to Mariano Grajeda's pictures, and I said to myself, oh my God, this guy is unbelievable. He's thick, he's dense, he has no gaps in his physique. He's shredded, his glute and hamstring and his back double are ridiculous. How does he lose? And then once again, I go to the comparisons, because that's what you got to do. Bodybuilding is about comparisons, how you look on stage next to the other guys, not how you look alone. And when I see this comparison between Nate and Mariano, I see why Nate wins, because Nate's got better structure, better flow. Mariano's a little shorter, a little stockier, not as aesthetically pleasing. And so Nate wins this class because of that. And because of possibly stage presence as well. I wasn't there to see them moving, in a dynamic motion, but even in the static poses, my eyes go to Nate's physique in the comparisons. Whereas when I look at the individual ones, I tend to say Mariano Grajeda's got more, oomph to his body, but it doesn't matter. It's what looks good on stage. And that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. And then, of course, we go to the light heavyweight class. Antonio Burton is just phenomenal. He just, in my mind, unanimously wins that class. I don't think it's even, there's really no comparison between the other guys and him. He's got wow factor to his physique. Small waist. He's got all the showy muscle groups. He's in great shape. He looks, at least to me, in the mandatories, like he knows how to present his physique. And that's what win shows, aesthetics with conditioning and size in the right places. And that's what it comes down to. And that's why I think this USA class, all these guys that turn pro, the light heavy, super heavy, and the heavyweight, and of course, well, the lighter classes too, but we're talking pretty much the top 3 classes because those are the ones that make immediate impacts in the pros. Those guys are going to go on to be future stars because not only do they have muscle and conditioning, but they have structure and shape. And that's what we want to see in a future pro. If you don't have a good structure, you can put all the muscle that you want on it, and it's just not going to aesthetically flow properly. And you might do well as an amateur, but when you get to the pro ranks, you're going to have a more difficult time. So I'm excited because I think these guys are going to be the future stars of our sport. Once again, congratulations to those top 3 because all 3 of them earned their IFBB Pro status, obviously, here at the USA Championships. Zach Merkel, congratulations. I love to see the unexpected wind up as the champ. You are Mr. USA. Congratulations. Looking forward to seeing you in the IFBB Pro ranks, whether it be at the end of this season or maybe next year. I don't know what your plans are. We'll get you on the TV show and we'll interview you and we'll find out who you are and what you're all about and what your future plans are. For now, though, I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News Update.